Hello, we're going to review multiplying and dividing decimals one more time before we take a test over it. The first thing we want to remember is that when you add a decimal after a whole number, it is the same. When you see a whole number like 5 and you do not see a decimal, it's always right behind it. That separates the whole numbers from the decimal places. So these two have the exact same value. Also, I could add a decimal and a 0 after a whole number, and it does not change the value of it either. And finally, you can add a 0 after even another digit that's in your decimal. It's kind of the same thing like money. $2 would be the same thing as $2 with as many decimals as you need. You can add a decimal as long as it's to the right of the you can add a 0 as long as it's to the right of the decimal and it does not change the value. Okay, first we're going to review multiplying decimals one more time. We would say 4 times 6 is 24. We carry the 2. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 2 would be 30. Then we go down to the next spot here. And it's in the tens place. We put a 0 first. We always put a 0. We say 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. That's all I have. So I add these up. A 4, a 0, and a 3. But in my entire problem, I had 2 decimals, but there are 4 digits that are written after the decimal. That means my answer has to have 4 digits written after a decimal. So start on the right, and I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my decimal. You can add a 0 right here because that means we're filling in that placeholder there. This answer, that's a tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths place. So this answer is 304 10,000ths. Okay, sometimes you need to add decimals when you're dividing as well. Now remember, when there's no decimal in the divisor here, you just take this decimal and it goes right above there. But you can't have one here. So we move it over 2 places. We want it to be behind that 9. Just like the 5, we could move it behind there a minute ago. Now, if we move this decimal 2 places, we also have to move this one 2 places. And we can just add a 0. Now, typically, it's best to rewrite the problem because that gets a little bit messy. So, 3,240 divided by 9. Then it's just a regular division problem. 9 times 3 is 27. Now we'll subtract and get a 5 and bring down your 4. 9 times 6 is 54. I subtract and get a 0, but I'm not done. There's still a 0 here. So I can't finish yet. Now I say how many times will that 9 go into the 0? Is 0 times. So the answer will be 360. All right, I hope all of these answer your questions. And if you need any extra help, please come in for tutorials Monday morning before your test.